Thank you very much. My name is Gatdet. I think most of you, they know me. So this is my second time to talk with Asal. I'm political science student in MSU. So I want to share a little bit of story about you. South Sudan issues that was happened last month or last 3 weeks. There was crisis was created by the dictator government in South Sudan called it's called President Salva Kiir, and it's by President David Bolmel, his son-in-law. So South Sudan government, he was used to tribalize the societies called Nuer community. And then South Sudan, he was being started the civil war in 2013. And then, so the root cause was a political idea when there was happened. So it is called like, this happened between the Vice President Dr. Machar and the Salva Kiir. And there was too much conflict was happened. A lot of people was leave the country, go to bordering country, like neighboring country. Like some people was dies, and like 40,000 was killed. And literally like a month ago, like there was a disease happened in the country, and then the government, he don't care, like he tried to create the conflict between him and the civilian in Upper Nile. Like right now, he was tried to bombarding the people, and he was the foreign troop to South Sudan to bring them to kill the civilian. Most of civilian right now, they was in critical condition due to the government using bombarding to the people. So which is very terrible situation right now in my family. And then I just want to talk about this because the world want to know this one. There is a crisis and there is a crime in South Sudan that was committed against civilian by South Sudan government. So as we know that if there is political issues happen between the two people, it could not be include the society. Because political is not belong to the civilian, like it's belong to the politician, like what we know right now in the world that we are here. So I just want to let the world know that this situation has happened in my countryside. Even still right now in Pio, 30 minutes ago, they was bombarding. The land is called Wulang. And they also killed like a bunch of family, like 20 people was burning. So we have a lot of evidence that was sent by the people because South Sudan government looked like careless, but most people, they know the issues, but no one will care about. Because the world, we know that there is a law in the world. Like when the Netanyahu was committed crime against the Ukraine of Hezbollah, and then right now the people was try to call him in the court, and also the Putin was committed crime of people of Ukraine because they are vulnerable group. Right now the court has calling him, but I don't know why the world was silent to the South Sudan president. He was calling by the law, while we have international law. So the situation happened. I can show you really quick. This is a situation happened. Like this is a place that they was bombarding. The chemical is called acetics, and they just burning the soil, and they burning the house, wool. They burning the body of the person, and this right now they make people to pollute to the neighbor country to be a refugee. By number of people, they are leaving the home, and they just are in critical situation, like they leave their home. Those are refugees, and that is where they was running to in the bush at that time. No one living at home, because afternoon they target the area. They can use the GPS where the people are living, and then they can target them. So people are living in the bush right now. They go to the bush in the forest, and then they hide themselves. When they go there, also they are in terrible situation. Like there is no water outside. There is no food because they leave their food away because the government, they disturb them. So this is what was happening recently. This is a situation. So this, like what I show you, like they burning the infant children and kids, like elder people too. So this is a situation that I show you on live video. So this commit that was by the government, this crime that was committed by the government of South Sudan, Salva Kiir Mayardit, and he was used the chemical weapon that was banned in World War II. And then this chemical is not to be used at this time, but it was illegal. But right now, South Sudan government used it to bombard the civilian. Like that is what happened. This is a situation that should happen in the place where people are living. So like, yeah, this looks like World War II, exactly like the genocide that was committed in World War II. So what I came here and I want to talk about this. Anybody having some idea about social media and whatever, you can write whatever you hear from me right now to aware the world. South Sudan is still killing innocent civilians because South Sudan people, they was banned the internet. There is no way to tell their right to the world because they closed the internet and no Facebook, no whatever, they was banned them. And they 20 years in power, they still killing people up to now, and people are tired. There is nothing to do, and there is no power to change the government. People are just silent for a long time, but some of them, they was ignore themselves. They was give up on life. Even one person died in the South Sudan, in the Nuer community. Like people told him that this is a lie. What shall we do? Like don't cry. And people, they just convene you like someone died today because a lot of our friends died yesterday, and then one of our friends died today. So maybe tomorrow you will die, but don't waste your time to cry. So this is a briefing that people can give themselves. So yeah. So as we know, like I got a lot of questions from the many friends when they see me, like they ask me, so this South Sudan war is a tribal war or is just, so I can tell to the people like it's not a tribal, but government tribalize the people. So what they did, the government, they just try to they bribe some other tribe and they pay them and they put them to kill the Nuer people. Because they know Nuer people, they are majority, like second largest population in the country. Because they complain because there is no school for them, there is no infrastructure of the road, there is no water, and there is no hospital, there is no any medication. Everyone die at home. There is no treatment for people. So the government, they just pushing all the tribe to be fight with those guys. And then last month, and the tribe was refused to go to war, and then they brought the Uganda soldier to kill the civilian. And this is a terrible situation that was happening in South Sudan, like I show you. So that is terrible. That was my family are right now. So I'm very happy today to share the history about you. So we can just try our best to alert the world there is problem in the South Sudan. Government try to humiliate the people, abuse the right of the people. So we can write on social media. We can forward to the other page like human right, where the place human right are living, and then we can help the society. So, yeah. Thank you. Anyone have a question?
Why did the war start there in South Sudan?
Yeah, the war was started like political, and then when there was between the two people, like vice president and the president in 2013, and then the vice president is called Dr. Riek Machar, and then there was removed by the power by the president, and then because like they have the same right in the country. And then Vice President was complaining, why you removing the power without constitution? We can win the election. And then there was refused like that, and then there was war broken between them. And then there was just display the Mashar. At Mashar, there was run where the place they was born, because they was displaced in the city. And he went where the Nuer people. And when you know that, like, he went to the where the Nuer people are, like he was announced in December 15. He say door to door, like he told to everybody, if you have a Nuer neighbor, door to door, like fight to your neighbor, like kill him or do whatever you want. So that is the reason that was causing the war. Okay.
How do you feel about going back to this?
So I'm very, very, really sad about that. So I'm really sad because, you know, like I myself, like I lose a lot of my friends, and I lose a lot of my cousin, a lot of my relative. So I'm not happy with that, but I'm sad.
Are you nervous at all about?
All the time, yeah, all the time. But being a politician, being educated, but I just know that maybe there will be a time for the people will get arrested. Also, like we complain, if there is a good person, maybe they can change him from the power, but no one paid to change him because killing people. They kill people when they know you run about election. Even right now, they arrested the vice president who is running against him, and they arrested him right now. He was in the prison right now. Yeah.
How long's the war been going on?
The war would be like 2013 up to now. Like we can look like it should be 9 years or 10 years. Yeah. So, yeah. 9 to 10 years.
I may have missed the part earlier, but could you kind of like explain the context in terms of like why the government's like targeting those civilians or like burning down those things rather than it just being like a fight against where soldiers are?
Yeah, the root cause why they target the civilian, because you know, like the civilian, they was give up on him because he was in a power for 20 years. Like you know that civilians dislike him, and he want to reduce the population, and he will start the war because the people have planned to go to election in 2026, maybe like January. The people will go to election, but they was try to commit them crime because they know when people will go to the election peacefully, they can lose their power because civilian, they don't want them. Right now, they disturb the peace because he don't want people to go to election peacefully. That is the reason they just target the people right now.
Is there anything that you would like allying countries or even the United States to do? Any sort of involvement you could see that would help out?
Yeah, of course. Like, so I just, you know, like, for example, I'm really want to mention some. Because United States is one country that was drive my country to be have independent. Because, you know, like, South Sudan was being a war for 20 years with Sudan. Because Sudan itself had been a war within 20 years. And then, so he would start like, the President Bush was involved to talk to the President Bashir in Sudan. And then he was give the threat to stop the war with South Sudanese people because they have right to get their own independence. And then the President Bush was out of that. And then 2005, there was signed the peace, fire, and then there's a power of the United States. Right now, I want the United States to involve that to stop the South Sudan government to export the weapon to kill the civilian. Because right now, he was in a relationship with China because his friend is China, and then he was transport to weapon to South Sudan to kill civilian, not harm. So I just want the United States to involve in this situation to stop the bombarding because they use chemical weapon like the gas that I show you on the live video. Like they kill civilian with that. So this is one thing that my concern to stop that.
Do you see the future of this war getting better or worse? Like,
If the international law cannot be stopped that war, there will be no solution unless another person was against him to fight or some other individual group was choose to fight with him. Hardly. Yeah, it should be worse than this one. If there is no one, we'll try to control it.
So the people of South Sudan, they don't have, they don't have the chemical weapons that the government is using. They don't have the social media now to spread this. Is there anything that they do have currently at this moment to fight back?
They just get from the neighbor country like Uganda and Egypt. So they get those things, but they get a chemical weapon from that. So like the other thing, the people like civilian, they have nothing. So there is no internet, there is no whatever, just people they are just sitting for nothing. Even there is no light, there is no electrics. People they are using firewood to cooking food. Yeah, people they are using to get water in the river right now. That's why like I told some of you like Jackson, Noah, and Terry, there was cholera happened there. And my mom was called me, and like I think it was a month ago. Like he told me we are in a terrible situation. We don't trust ourselves to be still alive, but we are aware of you because there is a disease happen. It's called cholera. We get in the water, but right now there is no option. A lot of people are dying in our neighbor, and then we are spraying the God right now. So yeah, and then there is no option for the civilian, and then. The government just tried to kill people again. It was terrible.
So will international law or the people who enforce it, I guess, do you foresee them like playing a role in terms of like stopping the war and saying like, hey, you cannot do this and imposing some sort of consequence, or is it more likely that they'll stand by?
International wars look like international law. It look like he ignored the people. Like 2013 was killed 20,000 at the front of him in Juba, South Sudan. Killed at the front of him, the UN and other like U.S. embassy, also the French embassy, European embassy. There was 6 people alive and killed at the front of them. Still, there is no case for them. Even right now in social media, the president was interrogated. Why you killed the civilian? There is no court for him. I know like international law is weak for my country, like he don't care.
I was going to mention some earlier, going back to what we were talking about Max and cholera, is one thing Gatdet and I want to try to do at some point is to send the company Lifestraw to make this like giant community water filter. And the drinking water in South Sudan, from the photos you showed me, is literally like the muddy river water that like people bathe in, that animals and stuff shit in, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if this ends up gaining attention, someone's watching this that has good ideas of how to ship stuff to rural places like South Sudan, like if you can help us out, that'd be great.
Yeah, all this should be like just maybe like pure individual potential, but not to be a whole society. Maybe if I should have a potential to do for my parent, but the rest should be still in the situation. So what I know, like, because this is terrible, like, yeah, because government, he don't care. He love people, like, yeah, like it's weird, like when you go there. So I can mention some because like it will surprise me that situation. Like I just asking the God to stop that because yeah, if there is no government, no one can be control that issues. Yeah. So like there is a weird like people in there, like people like us, like young people, they have no education. Like they was ignored themselves when you meet them. So some of them they look like they confused. Like when I was there, because I came to Ethiopia, I got a bachelor degree there, and I go to school. A lot of my childhood, they just look like, yeah, they scared with me or they just surprised for me. Like, yeah, they ignore themselves. Like I did a good thing, but I just pray to God to change the society, because this is not my power. I know we grow together, like we grow up together, and then I have potential to get a bachelor degree, but it's not my will, but it's God's will, because we was in the same situation. So yeah, people right now, they look themselves like they are not a good people, but I know they are good people, but they look themselves, they are not good people. One of my friends told me that if there will be a government, they could not get majority of us, because people, they will die. Because no government, people choose to die.
So for any of really all of us listening right now, is there anything that we can do right now as sort of like a call to action to help put an end to this? Is there anything that we can do right now, like a good action plan?
Of course, yeah. Me and Terry, we tried when the situation happened. I called Terry, and we write a thing on the U.S. embassy, and we send those pictures to them. And I heard that I think maybe the U.S. embassy, they try to look at them, because they called the South Sudan president, and the South Sudan president, they say this is not a real video. They say this AI, like they editing. Yeah. Yeah. So if we have a potential, we can write whatever, everywhere we can write to call the international law to try to control that bombarding. Yeah. Because I know government, they criticize the young people right now, because a lot of my friends last week, they tried to fight so hard, and they was targeted one military base. It's newer people, like they are people like the people of the community. They fight, like they try to gather themselves, include young people, like they say, what can we do? Like our parents, they should not be die like that. So we can choose pie, we can choose die. So a lot of them, they are die right now because of they committed themselves to die because of government turbulence the people. But what we have to do, we should write on social media. We can forward those pictures to everywhere we know. Like, yeah. Anyone have a question? Okay.
Is there any way we could lobby this or just kind of bring this in awareness to the U.S. government or different forms of different politicians in order to kind of just help them understand more what's going on? And
Pardon? Can you repeat the question?
is there any way that we could just bring this to attention of the government and kind of just talk about what's going on and make more?
Yeah. There is different platform. Okay. Yeah, there is different platform to contact the U.S. government. For example, in the university right here, there is international. There is the group forum, like people can write thing, and then the Congress can get those, and the Parliament they can get those. But one person they cannot do nothing, because I write thing on social media all the time, but no solution. But I need your awareness, you can involve in this situation, you can. I need your contribution. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much, Gatdet.
Yeah, you're welcome.